Hey, it's John and Justin here for Developer Day number 26.
So we've spent a lot of time this week and previous weeks wrangling shape data, especially the US.
Yep.
We're going to talk about just a couple of the problems we've been having. We got our US county data from NHGIS, which compiled boundary data from censuses. Anyway, so that was a lot of data. We had to go process it. We had to simplify it because the resolution was really high, and simplification leads to other problems which we've discussed in the past. So we had to go out and explore all these tools to help us manage this data. We ended up with MapShaper, which was really nice, but didn't have a Node API, so we had to learn how to use that. And then we ran into some problems which MapShaper couldn't solve for us, and I'll talk a little bit about some of that here. Here we have this collection of what is called U.S. history maps from this hosted in GitHub by this guy Poezin. I don't know how to say his name. Really nice data. He has the boundaries of the U.S. I guess all of time, right?
Yeah.
And
for every event. Yeah.
And he even breaks it out to like when states seceded from the Union during the Civil War and all the different changes that occurred. So that was really nice. But when we started throwing it into Postgres didn't like a couple of things about it. So first, we'll come in here, and you'll see this little knob right here, where the boundary sticks out, goes back in. Postgres doesn't like that. So we had to go in, and there's some other problems in it. We had to go delete all these little imperfections. And then Postgres also didn't like the fact that this is actually a collection of a few polygons. These are all different polygons representing different territories, areas of states. These are the Confederate states down here. And so we had to collapse all that together. And turns out we couldn't use MapShaper for that, so we had to go find another tool and ended up with Turf. We had to figure out how that worked, which uses JSTS under the covers, and it was throwing problems. That helped us. Anyways, we've spent a lot of time trying to mingle this, but the result of it all is now that searches on the US and Canada work now.
Yes.
And the shapes have been simplified, and so the data's smaller, and we're really happy that we finished that before Friday ended.
Yeah.
So I could
we're going to
buy myself ice cream.
Yeah. Re-index the world as well.
Yeah.
Get some of those more simplified shapes in there.
Anyways, that was pretty intense, and
yeah,
it's over.
Yeah. Well, for now. Another thing we've been working on is tracing, which I think we touched on a little bit last week. Been working a lot with image processing. That's kind of what I was working on in between map catastrophes. So, I don't have a good way of zooming this out, but here we have a map of Ireland and Scotland, and we're working on being able to click in this little green place and be able to trace it. So we've been working through with a lot of different algorithms and whatnot, trying to figure out the best way of doing this, especially for historical maps, which they're usually fairly washed out, and they have all these lines and things on them. So I just clicked on, I'm not sure what county that was, but this is kind of the overlay of what it becomes underneath the covers. As you can see, for a lot of these, we get some really nice boundary areas, and we can kind of do a loose fit to kind of give you a best approximation for what that boundary data is. Problem is, for some of them, you'll notice that this is pink, and this is kind of just a little darker pink. It's been an interesting challenge trying to get things like that working. We've got it to where it's it's pretty good on the overlay, but we're having to essentially mash together a few algorithms to do this tracing. So it'll be fun. We now know we can do it. It's just a matter of working it into the UI and getting those algorithms done.
And finding the most accurate method and tweaking it.
Yeah.
And making sure the user experience is correct.
And that's actually one of the hardest parts is the user experience. There's so many knobs underneath the covers that you could expose to the end user, but if you did that, it'd just be too complex.
So we have to find a way of guessing the right number
thresholds,
of thresholds for the different algorithms. And Yeah, that's why we have John here. He's good at that.
So that's what I'm working on. It's coming along. Justin's got the Map Warper displaying maps, and
I
it's
spent
almost
half
ready.
a day on it, so there's not much to
Yeah.
look at.
Yeah.
That data hasn't given me much time.
Yeah, but next week we have
We will
less
have some
data.
nice demos.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week.
Okay.
But anyway, so we want to quickly show you, now that we finished all this data, processing the US and fixing that, the counties and the state boundaries, as well as Canada, we are now rerunning our indexing on all that data to try and get more collections into Find a Record. So we just want to show off our infrastructure and show you how it's going. There's the replication, which we didn't mean to show you. So we jump into the entries bucket, and this is showing you, this right here is a graph of the number of operations per second, which includes gets, deletes, and sets. We come over here to sets. I want you to look at the scale. For this is sets per second. 1 second, we approached 5,000. That's pretty intense. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but anyways, we this is really just beautiful to watch for us. So we have two processes on a medium AWS instance running right now that are doing indexing, we're barely touching our infrastructure. Like we could go a lot faster than we're going. But you'll see also if we switch this to hourly, and then we jump down here and look at the items, you'll notice we're going for about an hour, and our item count has increased 75K.
It's almost 100.
Something like that.
Pretty close to 100.
So this is just really neat for us to watch. And then we can jump over to Elasticsearch. And so here's the docs for entries, 292,000, refresh, you get 341,000, wait all the seconds, refresh again, it didn't change. There we go, the number changed, right? So we see that. And then we can also show you Postgres. Do we just hit up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it lets you do that. And notice the count changed, take it in. So we just really like Couchbase because all of that is basically throw it into Couchbase and it replicates to all the places where we do it. That makes us really happy. We just run a little script to index and we can leave that running over the weekend. And our data percolates and automatically is available to the website. So
yeah, actually as soon as it hits Postgres, it shows up in our search.
Yep.
So it's really, really nice.
So anyways,
I think that's it for this week.
Yeah.
I think we went a little long. I don't know. But it's been fun. Talk to you next week. See you.